Hi everyone, this is video 3 as we build our wonderful salt fishes. So we've already beefed out our lines with our Sharpie marker, and I'm going to show you how to paint today. And remember, I said this is going to get a little messy, so definitely wear something that would be okay to get a little messy. You're going to need a cup of water. You're going to need some table salt, but just a little. I have a big jar here. I'm not even going to need that much. I'm going to use this lid to mix my water and color together. And also, in your supplies that came to your house, you're going to have a cool color and a warm color. Now, your cool color could be blue, purple, or green, and your warm color could be red, orange, or brown. I don't think there was a lot of yellow at the time. So I'm using green and brown for the robin fish. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the visualizer and show you how this works. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to move my screen to a little bit bigger so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what we are going to do here is make this super, and when I say super, I mean super wet. If we don't get this paint super wet, then the salt doesn't work and it won't make that cool effect, that fish skin that we're hoping to get. So I am going to take my water and put a lot of water on my plate here or my little lid, okay? And make sure that's full of water, okay? And then I'm gonna start with my green here. And so I'm gonna get quite a bit of water going in my green. I'm gonna let it smoosh out and goosh out onto this plate. And I'm gonna keep adding to it. So I'm going to make what's equal to a pretty nice little puddle of green, okay? And then I'm going to start really working that in where I want my green. So I'm going to be careful around the eyes a little because, you know, in theory, I'll try to keep those kind of white, but I'm going to get this really wet, really full of water, okay? The key is getting it very wet. All right, I'm going to really work in a ton of water on the robin fish. And you can use your warm or your cool colors. Now we're going to be cutting these fish out at the end, so you really don't have to worry about keeping the lines perfect because we're going to cut these out. It's more about getting that good color on our fish. So I'm even taking water and swooshing it around and mushing it and gooshing it all over my fish, okay? Keeping it very, very wet. Now, the wetness, the water is what reacts with the salt and makes that incredible, cool effect. So if you're not getting a very swishy wet, go back over with more water. You really want it wet. All right. So this is where I'm going to show you the next step. Once you've got the water on here, I'm going to go to my warm color and do the same thing. I'm going to add some warm color up here. This is brown, and I'm just going to work it in so that it gets a little bit up here. And really, like I said, keep it wet. And I might brush in my brown and mix my colors a little bit. Have you ever noticed that fish aren't perfect? They all have some interesting colors that they mix together on their tails. And I'm just gonna get this really wet and gushy. So your paper might start to get a little wrinkly. That's okay. That's okay. It's gonna dry and it's gonna be really cool once it's dry. So here's where I'm gonna mix a little right in here. And boy, I'm gonna keep just putting tons of water on this because I want that chemical reaction of the water and the salt to really occur. So I might go back and get it even more wet with my green. Just take your time. The most important thing is this is supposed to be super fun for you. Okay, there's no mistakes on these fish. In fact, the more fun you have and the more wet you get your fish, I think you're gonna get a great result. So we're just gonna put some dots of green around there. I'm just really having some fun. There we go. All right, so there's robin fish. And now the last step. Once I get this nice and wet and full of color, I'm going to take just a little bit of salt, okay? Just a little bit. Like I'm going to put that much in my hand and I'm going to spread it out over my fish. You are going to see some interesting things happen with the paint right away. You might want to spread out some here and there. I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of a spritz up here. Okay, now the key to success now is patience. Now our fish has to dry, most likely for many hours. So I would leave this all night long to allow this paint and this salt to respond and react together. Okay, so this is the robin fish. I'm going to paint out the reese fish next. So if you want to watch that video, go ahead and watch that one as well. Bye.